How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the commercial. Today, I want to talk about the stupidity of working a 9 to 5 for 60 years, then retiring with a little money, then choosing to relax and take, you know, your days to yourself and not work. But look, I'm not here to judge nobody. If 9 to 5s are something that you think this world needs, then cool, that's your judgment, that's your opinion. But for me personally, I don't think the human body, the human soul, is was made to work a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Working in a enclosed space, an office job, indoors for hours at a time, and then going home, then having a little time to yourself, and it's like, I get it, we have to, earn money, but if we all came together collectively and we brought up issues that the 9 to 5 program, you know, presents to the world and to us, and the issues that we have to deal with as civilians of this world, then I think we could make a change. A problem as big as the 9 to 5 requires like more than just one person talking about it. Like there needs to be like a collective of people going over the issues of working a 9 to 5 for 60 years and then retiring. You know, but I think that there are better solutions and better ways to operate on this plane of existence. I live in Canada, and here we have universal healthcare. So that means like we basically have free healthcare, and we pay through our taxes. That's already a better system for healthcare than it is in the US, bro. Like in the US you have to pay so much money for a small fracture, but in Canada you get that for free. The most you'll pay for in Canada for healthcare is like the cast, you know? So it just goes to show like the different systems that could be utilized in order to make this happen. If we looked at everybody's individual skill set and we catered to that skill set from a young age, I think then the world would operate more freely and just with more passion and more more vigor and more just love for life. I think that would eliminate a lot of the depression and anxiety that we face. We wouldn't have to deal with a lot of the problems that come with working a 9 to 5 for however long. Every time um, I talk to somebody who, you know, discusses their job, regardless, they always just talk about how it's so bad. And like a majority of the people who talk about their jobs don't like their jobs. I think if we all just cater to the individual skill set of each individual on this planet, then I think that the world would be a much better place. You would literally have to like restructure the whole school system and how it operates and how it works. You have to cater to each individual child. And I think that's possible because, a lot of the times, like, they put like a whole bunch of kids in a group, and then they teach a lesson, and then you have a couple kids who get it and you have a couple kids who don't get the lesson. So you'd have to just restructure the whole system from the base, from the base, bro. Like, and like everything about the school curriculum would have to change in order for this to take place. But greedy corporations and greedy people exist, so things like that would be really difficult to attain. But this is something that would aid generations. You know what I mean? Generations from now would be more free and more happy and more liberated and just live a more peaceful life. The 9 to 5 is just so draining, you know? It's hard to come by a person who actually likes the job that they work. And I'm not speaking for everybody. Obviously, there are people who love what they do, and that's awesome. But a lot of the times, most of the time, people don't like what they're doing, and they're only doing it to get by, and to earn some money to live. And it's like, dang, like you don't even like what you're doing, but you're forced to do it because you have to make money to feed yourself or your children. And that is just so mind-boggling because you have literal billionaires who live comfortably, billionaires You know, there are people who are born into that lifestyle, you know, that don't have to work a single day in their lives. And their values, their lives are seen as more valuable because of the amount of money they have. You know what I mean? And somebody with no money is probably seen as less than, especially if you're a man too. That's a whole nother subject. But it just goes to show the culture we've created in the world and on this earth, you know? It's like no money equals no value. Money equals value. You know, people look at you differently depending on how much money you have. You know, people look at you differently depending on what your situation is. You have money, people see you as an opportunity to, you know, maybe get used, and then, you know what I mean? So it just goes to show like the corrupt system that we live in. You know, money has corrupted people's minds, and money has made it where people don't even have humility anymore. You know, where did the humility go? I just believe that there are so many different avenues we could take this world, and the people in charge have, to be honest, done a really bad job because they allowed greed to be their way of life. You know, they allowed greed to be their way of life. You know, instead of looking at every single person as and just as important as the next man or woman, they allowed greed and the love of money and power to fill their minds to the point where you have corporations making billions of dollars and you still have people on the streets with nowhere to go, you know? And, you know, there are things being done. There are things set in place for people who want help and you know, need aid in that regard, but I still don't think that they're doing enough. I think the way the world is set up enables that kind of thing, you know, enables people having to go through things like, you know, having nowhere to stay and, you know, being on the streets and stuff like that. We're just so in our own worlds that like the pain of others doesn't affect us, you know, and it's like I can't personally live like this, like that. I that's why I make these videos, you know what I mean? To help in some way or shape or form. Like you shouldn't be 50 years old and still have to work a job because you have to survive. Like because you didn't save money. Like what? I get it. You have to be responsible with the money you have, but like, okay, I didn't save money, so I have to work until I'm, bro. Like, life is too short to even have to work a job in the first place. Like, do you not get it? Do you not see that? You should be somewhere like giving advice to the younger generation. Like the younger generation should be able to look up to the elders and ask them for wisdom and advice on how to live a life of purity and spiritual well-being. You know what I mean? And that's where I think these other countries have got it right. You know, the Western world completely shuns that side and aspect of the world we live in, when in reality we are spiritual beings. So the physical should be something that we look at after we look at the spiritual. No 50-year-old should be working a job that they don't want to work at because they have to, you know, feed themselves. You know, it's like it's not right. You know, everybody has a role that they should play. You know, and working at a corporation or like some large establishment that you don't want to work at is not, it's just not it. It's not. I really want people to see where I'm coming from, because I just see a vision, a utopia, a beautiful, blissful world, you know, in my mind. And I just somehow know that it's gonna be able to, you know, manifest, you know, and take shape, you know, as long as we all come together and allow it to, you know, as long as we're all on the same page. You know, like a lot of the time I hear people saying that they don't like the rich, they don't like the, and I'm like, okay, if we don't like the rich, how about we collectively do something about it? Because I don't, look, the thing about being rich and not having money, look, I don't mind people not having, or I don't mind people having like a whole bunch of money. Like, I don't mind that. I just think that like there's an aspect of greed that comes with having a lot of money, and it's like, why not just why not why don't we all just work together, you know, for the betterment of this world? Like, there are earthquakes, there are hurricanes, there are tornadoes, there are all these natural disasters that are taking place on this planet for a reason. It's not by coincidence. Like, the way the world is operating and the systems that are in place and the programs that are in place are the complete opposite of how a human is supposed to live. And that's the truth. Okay? And more people are seeing this, and I think that's why there are so many people like me making YouTube channels and speaking up against this, because, like, man, it's just, you see the movies and you think, like, wow, that would be a beautiful world, to live in. And then it's like, yo, it's possible. We could have a utopia, a bliss. We could all live blissful lives, if we all just came together and did something about it. But